Hello, not supposed to be a weather video tonight, but I just want to do a brief weather video on the frigid weather we're having, as well as some unfortunate changes in the forecast when it comes to the weekend. And we're going to go over this in about 5 minutes because I'm tired. Today was a nice, clear day. I did a long hike in the pines, so that's why I'm tired. You can see that no clouds at all today whatsoever. There was some scattered jet chunk in the morning, but other than that, clear skies, big high pressure over us. And the other thing going on is they've been talking and hyping Aurora activity. Unfortunately, it's too, even though if you're in the northern latitudes, it's strong. It's kind of weak, and I tried to get some photos of the northern lights both last night and tonight and got nada. So very weak, maybe very faint. You have to be up in the northern latitudes to see anything, or in a really dark area. So you can see we had clear skies today. Again, sorry for those. Again, just a very weak northern lights display for this area. You can see the snow cover here on the map, and you can see where kind of you go further south, and even there's not even too much of it in Jersey, which is where I was today. Yes, it was in the pines today. It was beautiful, spectacular, but absolutely frigid today indeed. So let's go over those current temperatures. First, the high and the low for Islip. This isn't quite fair because that high of 27 was at 12:15 in the morning, so I shouldn't even look at that. Let's go look at our current temperatures. You can see these extreme cold watches because there's going to be a bitter cold blast that's going to be coming down to the Great Lakes that's going to be affecting us. And that's the question is, will it be enough to push that storm down? So right now, temperatures are in the teens. 16 at Islip, dew point -1. Look at that. They've gotten radiational cooling in the Pine Barrens in Toms River. 3 degrees at Ocean County Airport. And let me tell you, once the sun went down, that temperature dropped. And it looks like they are going below 0 in the New Jersey Pinelands tonight, most likely, which is where I was. Still 12 at West Hampton with the wind. So let's see what the day was like at Islip. And again, that high of 27, very deceiving, because during the day we were only in the low 20s, like 21, and that was it. And I had breezy conditions. Definitely felt like it was below 0 at times. Quite frigid out there. And if you were in New Jersey, let's see what the conditions were over there. Maybe been a little bit warmer there. Yeah, 25. Got up to 25 there. So it was a little bit warmer there. But let me tell you, once that sun went down, boy, did it drop. And it got cold in a hurry, especially if you're in the Pine Barrens. And we'll have to see if we get any radiational cooling tonight. Of course, my alley is nowhere near that. 25 degrees. Can't even get into the teens in that damn alley. West Hampton is down to 12, so let's just see if they get into some radiational cooling or not. So anyway, we're going to just look ahead. I just want to bring up the change. Like I said, it's a 5-minute video. I'm tired, so I'm not going to go over the weather the next couple of days. Nothing really that notable. The change is what's going to be happening. Now, originally, if we go back and look at a really old run of the GFS here, when I last did the weather video, which I think was 12Z Sunday or 18Z Sunday, you'll see that this was suppressed way to the south. That's what we wanted to see. Suppressing, no snow, no storm. But unfortunately, it's crept its way northward, and this is the change that we're going to have to watch. You can see there's a storm here, and we get brushed by it on the GFS, but the European is definitely a much stronger with that storm. So here's the European at 18Z, and you can see that takes the storm closer, a lot closer to us, and could be a pretty big snow event, perhaps even blizzard-type conditions. And look at this, the European even forms a second low. So this could be a real wallop if the European was right. I sure as hell hope it ain't. Very disappointing that this change happened, because originally this crap was supposed to be suppressed way to the south. I don't want a big snowstorm, all right? Because you try walking around in the snow and ice and see how you like it, all right? It sucks, all right? I like the cold, but I want it without all the snow, all right? So we're just going to go look at the upper air for a minute, just show you what's changed again. So we'll go to this already, and we'll go to the GFS. And again, we'll show you what's changed. I'll just use the GFS as an example here at this point. So if we look at the model here, you see that blocking in Greenland. You see that blocking in Greenland there, all right? But there's a big, strong trough that pushes it down. Now, let's go to the latest run and show you the difference here. This is the problem that we have. So there isn't a big trough anymore. And the trough is marginal, and it doesn't really come as far down, so the cold won't be as severe, which means we could be getting more snow. So the temperature, the severe cold has been scaled back, so I'll show you the latest temperature guidance on here. And you can see here is Saturday. So we get a plunge on Saturday. There'll be cold on that day, all right? But it's not as cold as it was originally calling for, all right? All right, so you're supposed to have a polar vortex type of situation. So again, I'm going to roll this back to the Sunday model. Actually, there isn't a big difference between the temperatures. Interesting laugh. I think you have to look at the extent of the temperatures. Yeah, you see what happens. It keeps coming down. Here we go, Sunday. Here, look at that. So I'm going to use this as an example, all right? This is midnight Saturday night, all right? Compare that to now. You can see how the cold is further north. So we'll have to see. I'm still hoping it gets suppressed, but we'll have to see. It's too early to tell. There are going to be a lot of people hyping it up. This should have stayed down. I got one message here. You know the song Lil Willie by Sweet? Well, stay down. Stay down. We don't want you up here, storm. All right? But if this were to hit, it could be a big storm. Hopefully it doesn't. We'll have to see what happens. Hopefully the models trend back south again. But with all that cold air, you'd think it would push the storm track to the south and we wouldn't have a big storm. But we'll have to see what winds up happening. But that's been this little briefing. Have a good night.